I'm Dr. Gail Dubinsky, orthopedic medicine and yoga teacher in Sebastopol, Northern California. Today in our little yoga session, we're going to be doing a hip opener borrowed from pigeon pose, which is a gorgeous yoga pose which is inaccessible to most of us, but we can break down its components, especially the hip opener. So to begin, the simplest thing to do is to take your one leg and cross it over your opposite leg just above the knee. Now this may be difficult, so there are various ways we can get around this. You could put on a cushion on your chair so your hips are higher, or you could take your bottom leg further out and then just cross the leg below the knee if there's a real restriction in your hip. But for now we're going to go ahead with this variation. And so for some of us, just sitting here is enough of a stretch as it is. Breathing nice and deeply and relaxing and letting go and visualizing the breath going to your hip is a great way to get it to relax. Then, to intensify the stretch, we can go ahead and lean forward. Now not slumping, but leaning with a relatively straight spine, and you're just letting the weight of your arm be on your leg, taking a nice breath. So that would look like this, doing the other leg. Now this is often taught lying down, but I find it's a lot of work because you're kind of pulling with your arms, and it just seems that why not let gravity do the work for you? So you would hold this. This is a static stretch. 30 seconds, at least. A little longer gets a little more intense, but that's about right. And you will also find that one leg will be a lot stiffer than the other. So if one leg is way up like this, again, just be patient, and you can just use that arm to gently coax it down. All right, so that's the basic, easy, seated hip stretch. Now, for a bit of a more advanced version, we can try doing it with our leg on a chair, or this really works well on a bed. So it just depends on the height of everything. Use what you have in your house. I'm going to take this chair and I'm going to place my foot, my leg, sort of like the half of a cross-legged position. And I'm going to go ahead and sit down on the chair. And the other leg is hanging now. I can start lifting up, walking the leg back. Now you may not be all the way able to sit on the chair, in which case you can just keep yourself elevated on your arms. This takes a little more effort. And then just see if you can gradually lower yourself to the chair. So in the full pigeon pose, as you may or may not know, the other leg is stretched back. So we're going to approximate that. We're just going to kind of walk back, stretch back. And pigeon pose is named because there's this tremendous opening in the chest when people are doing things with their arms and shoulders that are way beyond the scope of this video and most of our bodies. But we can just approximate that by really lifting up the chest and breathing and sinking. So we have a lot going on. We got the hip, we got the front of the other hip, and please keep your front hip bones facing straight forward. Don't let the hips turn like this. Keep this back leg hip going forward and this front leg hip going back. So if they were headlights, they'd be facing straight ahead. All right, to extricate, you bring your leg out. Go ahead and stand. This is a good time to do a little bit of a chair relaxation, maybe a chair forward bend, a chair child's pose. even a downward dog on the chair. And we'll try the other leg. So the angle of the lower leg is 45 degrees, maybe. Okay, so we go ahead and try to sit down. If we can't sit down, we just can lean like so, using the back leg for stability. Trying to lift the chest. You could stand up a little bit. That's quite a stretch everywhere. But if you can, go ahead and sit down. You can let the bottom leg relax for a moment and then just keep working it back. Again, back leg hip comes forward, front leg hip goes back so that we have a even facing straight ahead hip bones. Trying to lift the chest. If you're on the bed, you would just be having your hands on the bed like this. And then if you really want extra credit, you can lean forward. And if you're on the bed, you can go as far as you want. This is a little bit more into the realm of experimental, but it's possible to do this without getting on the floor. Okay. So once again, that usually requires some kind of relaxation at the end. All right, so namaste, thank you. For more information and other yoga clips, please see my YouTube channel and my website, rxyoga.com. Namaste.